morning everyone and welcome back to another video. My name's Tracy and today's video is my weekly weigh-in update for Slimming World. This has been another good week, another full week on plan. That's like 2 weeks in a row or 3 weeks in a row. I can't remember, it's 2 or 3 weeks in a row anyway that I've been fully on plan, and I have to say this week has probably been the best I've felt, the most motivated I've felt in the last month since I went back onto Slimming World, well since I got back on plan. I have felt so motivated this week, despite working crazy work hours and a lot more than I'm used to. I've just felt really good this week. Again, like I was feeling good last week, but even more so this week I'm just feeling pumped and ready to smash this. I'm ready to get to target. Come on, let's do it. I have felt so much better this week with the not eating after my dinner time. Like last week I was getting some hunger pains or just noises in my belly, or I was feeling hungry. Not every single night, but most of the nights last week. This week it was so much easier. This week I was like halfway through the next day and I was like, oh, I didn't even think about food last night. It was ace. I haven't felt hungry after my dinner. I think my body's starting to slowly get used to not having food between those hours. I'm not intermittent fasting, but I'm not eating a lot. Not on purpose, it's just because I'm not feeling hungry. I probably won't eat between 7 o'clock at night, and if I'm working it's 2, 3 o'clock the next day. If I'm on a day off it's probably 9, 10 in the morning, so it's quite a long period of time to go without eating, and I think my body's actually getting used to it. I didn't have any hunger pains this week. I didn't have anything. So I am feeling really positive about that, and that I'm going to be able to overcome this, you know, nighttime picky eater, snacky eater, getting the munchies and all that. I feel so much more positive this week that I'm going to be able to overcome that. I really don't have a lot to talk about this week. I mean, last week, Ali and I had went to my mum's, and we hadn't actually planned on going to my mum's. We just decided on Saturday morning that we were going to go and visit her because we were missing her and we hadn't seen her for a good, God, it must have been about a month and a half since I'd last seen my mum. So we were like, we're going to go and see Granny Jane. I messaged her and she was like, well, I'm going to buy you a Chinese because we're having a Chinese tonight. And I was like, okay. She says, I'm just going to get bits and bobs of everything and put it on the table and everybody can help themselves. And I was like, right, what do I do here? I could have just taken the meal off plan. I have lost weight having little cheat meals and stuff off plan, but it was a Chinese and I knew that I could get something from the Chinese that was Slimming World friendly and would stick within my sin allowance for the day. So I asked my mum, is it alright if I just get a little portion of something? I gave her a list of stuff that was within the sin allowance for Chinese. And she said, yeah, that's fine. She ordered me a chicken and mushrooms and a boiled rice. So that's what I had. I stayed within my sins. I stayed on plan and I actually felt so much better. Like, not just I felt better because I didn't eat all the crap food and ended up feeling like crap after it because I had all the crap food. I just felt good mentally about it. I was like, I resisted. I could have had all that food and I resisted, and I'm actually quite proud of myself for it because I was very close to just digging in and having the spare ribs. What did they have that I really wanted? The prawn toast. Ali was saying how nice the prawn toast was, as was my mum. And little spring rolls. I love little spring rolls from the Chinese. Now I'm hungry for Chinese again, and we've had it like 3 times this week. But anyway, I was really chuffed with myself that I managed to stick to plan and didn't go over my sins. And another slight temptation that could have been disastrous if I'd decided to eat the food that he wanted to cook for me was when Ali said he wanted to make a steak one night for dinner because he made his dad steak for Father's Day, and then a couple of weeks ago when he was still allowed to stay at his friend's house, he was staying at his friend's house, and well actually they had a Chinese for their tea that night, and then about 11 o'clock at night his friend decided that he wanted to make them steak. So him and Ali made steak for their supper, and now Ali is like proper on a steak kick, I guess you could say it is. So he says, I want to make a steak for dinner one night. And I was like, yes, mum's night off. What do you want to make with it? And he was like, oh, crispy potatoes, asparagus and peppercorn sauce. And I was like, oh, Well, I mean, there is a peppercorn sauce that I can have within my sin allowance. Because we went to Aldi to pick up all the stuff that I wanted to make, I wasn't sure if the Aldi one was, and I really couldn't be bothered looking. And I was like, you know what, I actually like steak just on its own, just seasoned with a little bit of salt and pepper. Because the Aldi fillet steak is flipping amazing. It's so delicious, so tasty. So I thought I'll just have it without peppercorn sauce. And I don't want the crispy potatoes either. He says, I'll make you some of the Slimming World chips. We had some of them in the freezer. I was like, do you know what, I'm not even that hungry. Just give me the asparagus, the steak, and I've picked up some spinach from my work. Excuse me while I rub my eye. I picked up some spinach from my work because I wanted to have spinach and eggs for my lunch that day. So I was like, just give me some spinach with it as well instead of like chips or anything. So that was a little temptation that I could have had. I mean, because when Ali's cooked for me before in the past, I've just bit the bullet and taken all the extra sins and called it a cheat meal. Because it's lovely when a child wants to cook for you. He's only 12-year-old and he's loving being in the kitchen and learning how to cook and do stuff and all that. So usually I would just take it, but because it was steak, there's no reason why I shouldn't have had it on plan. I just had to say no to the peppercorn sauce and the crispy potatoes, and it just meant that Ali got extras. So it wasn't really much a temptation really. Anyway, let's go and take a look at what the scales said this week. So last week when I stepped on the scales, I was 10 stone 11.8. So let's see what they're saying this morning. Oh, you can see my shadow. Right, ready? I'm speaking to myself, by the way, no you guys. 1 second, pal. What? What? That says 10 stone 8.8. That's £3. Oh, it's came off. Let me just check that again because that seems quite a lot. Let's see. That doesn't seem right. Oh, for God's sake, my bloody scales. Let's see what's Oh, now it's saying 9.2. Are these having a funny turn? Let's see. Set it to 0. Right, 9.2. Right, I'm going to see if it does it a third time, and if it does, then that's fine. Why did it jump up? 10 stone 9.2. Wow, that's still over £2. Sorry, aye, £2. Holy crap. What? What? Could you tell? I was like, how's that happened? I've not lost that much in quite some time. In fact, I think it was March. I lost £3, but that was after I'd been off plan, and then that was like my first week back on plan. It was when Granny was in hospital back in February, March. So I'd been off plan for a couple of weeks and then I went back on plan. So that was like a first week weight loss. And then the last time I lost that much again was January when I'd been off plan at Christmas. I went back on plan and then I lost like £2.5. So for me to lose almost £2.5, I was flabbergasted. I could not believe that. So here's the stats I've written down. I lost £2.6, which is almost £2.5. That's £0.2 less than I was at the start of July. So I'm now back to where I was, well, I'm less than where I was at the start of July before my granny passed away. So I'm flipping happy about that. I'm glad I lost that, what was it, £5.8 that I'd gained over that couple of month period. I'm really happy about that. And that brings my total weight loss to 3 stone 8.8 £, which means I've also reached my 3.5 stone target again, because I had reached it before, you know, July. So yay for me. And it means I'm 9.2 pounds away from target. Also, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I'm now 10 stone 9.2, is that right? Yeah, 10 stone 9.2, how could I forget that? I checked it like 3 times. 10 stone 9.2, which means I am the lightest that I have ever been in my adult life, and I love little things like that. I love little targets, meeting little targets like that. It's not like the target. I've not reached the target yet, but I'm reaching, well, this week I've reached my 3.5 stone one again, and I've reached the lightest that I've ever been in my whole entire adult life. And probably since I was a very young teenager, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know. I can't really remember. I always remember just being overweight, so I've always been overweight. But now I'm not overweight. I'm not overweight. My BMI is in the healthy register. I don't know. What is it called? The indicator. I'm healthy. My BMI is healthy. So yay! What a good week. I'm so happy that I felt so good this week, and then I got a really good loss on the scales. I mean, I don't care what the loss is on the scales any week. I don't care, as long as it's going in the right direction. I say it all the flipping time, are you sick of hearing it? I don't care what the loss is. That because I felt so good this week, and then I had that good loss and all that, like my mood and how I was feeling matched what the scales were saying as well, because a lot of the time, there's been many times in the past, it won't just be for me by the way, you may relate to this, when you're feeling so good and so positive and so pumped and that you're smashing this Slimming World journey and you're doing great, and then you step on the scales and it's just to maintain. How crap is that? Like, that has happened so many times. I'm like, what? But I'm so good that what I felt matched what the scales were saying. I still can't believe it was 2.6 pounds. I don't even know what I've done this week different from the week before, sorry. I don't know what I've done different, but I'm taking it. I'm going to take weight and run with it, and hopefully 9.2 pounds will be target. Like, it's getting so flipping close. So flipping close. I can taste it. I can also taste all the Christmas food that's going to take me back over my target, or just take me flying past my target again, like, you know, up the way. Anyway guys, I hope you're all doing really well and staying safe. Please let me know in the comments how you're all doing on your weight loss journeys, or just in life in general. Let me know how you guys are doing. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.